This shit, this motherfucking bullshit. Let's do this shit. The Suns play the Blazers again. Second time this season. Second time they have lost to them. This time, Matthew.
Hey.
Quite interesting fashion, wouldn't you say?
Yes. I mean, the whole game was kind of this way, right? Never want to talk about reffing, but it was a travel the whole night. Everything was a travel.
Everything was a travel. Everything was
and
a
everything
carry.
was a foul.
Everything was a foul. Everything was a carry. And it was, I mean, don't get me wrong. Like, you knew that this was kind of a clusterfuck of the game, right? Like, it's the first game of a back-to-back at home against the Portland Trailblazers. And you look at the injury list, and it's like a Civil War battlefield, just like reading off dead names to people back home. You're like, and Cameron Payne, and Damian Lillard, and Anthony Simons, and Ish Wainwright, and Dwayne Washington Jr. And it kept going and going and going. So you knew that this was going to be some sort of discombobulated game, regardless of how the Phoenix Suns starters played or how the Portland Trailblazers starters played. It was going to come down to depth, and the Portland Trailblazer depth seemed to outmatch the Suns for the majority of this game. It was a well-fought, comeback game for the Phoenix Suns, and ultimately to lose on a four-step travel that all took place in the matter of a second. I think that's what the first thing that I noticed on this one is Jeremy Grant caught the ball and backed up twice. I'm like, how's the buzzer not gone off? I've picked my nose and ate it in the time that he's taking that shot.
It has to be an alley-oop, I thought. But I mean, he did get it off in time, and of course he did take some steps. He slid backwards a few steps, gave himself some space. It wasn't as bad as Mikal Bridges' travel, but it was still a travel, and it should be a game going on right now. The Suns should actually have another opportunity to end this game with a win, but they did. And the Blazers, they seemed like they were missing every shot towards the end like they should have because they were tired. Suns had their opportunity tonight, dude. They really did tonight.
They did.
A ton of opportunity tonight to lock this one up, and they didn't. So I'm okay with it because I feel like it's not a deserving loss, but it's just a loss where I'm like, you know what? It's fitting that it ends this way.
Yeah, I think that's a good way to put it, man. It was fitting that this game ended the way that it did because, discombobulation. And I was writing the Bright Side of the Sun recap. It'll be interesting to see if Dave keeps the title because the title of it was Jeremy Grant 4 steps his way into a buzzer beater, beats the Suns, 108 to 106.
Probably not.
Probably not. Everybody go in there and be like, it was a buzzer beater. But at the same time, I noted that the Phoenix Suns had a ton of opportunities. They did a great job fighting back and they tie the game, and then just offensive foul, travel, they just boneheaded play after boneheaded play. So they put themselves in the in a opportunity to be successful and to win this game. They ultimately couldn't execute. And then, of course, this is how it ends. So you're right. It's just the way it goes.
Yeah, let's get into this one. This one will be interesting, right?
Let's get into this one. So welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to another edition of the Suns Jam Session podcast. If you're watching on YouTube, hit the thumbs up button. We didn't lose the game. It was Jeremy Grant and the referees. They lost the game. Don't take it out on us. Hit the thumbs up. If you're listening, subscribe, rate, and review. As always, we truly appreciate it. It lets everybody know where the best Phoenix Suns post-game podcast is on Planet Orange. Make sure you follow us on Instagram, TikTok, and Twitter. You can follow me on Twitter at Darth Voida, as well as me read my writing at brightsideofthesun.com. You can follow Matthew on Twitter
at Darth Lissy, and you can follow me at jamsterdam.com. Come and visit, please.
Please, we'll definitely be talking about this one there. So, Matthew, you got to be drinking a beer on a Friday night after this show, right?
I'm drinking something. It's called Can. It's a social tonic, THC involved tonight.
Ooh, yeah. So you're drinking a can of can.
Yep, a can of can, man.
Interesting. Well, I'm going to be trying this. Have you heard of Oso Brewery?
Nope, I have not. No.
You have not heard of Oso?
No, maybe if I seen. Oh, okay. Yeah. I've heard of it.
Wow, I'm actually really kind of shocked. Oso is a fantastic brewery. It's located all throughout the greater Phoenix area. That you take your dog there. It's awesome. So, Oso right there. I've got a lemon raspberry popsicle blonde. It's going to be an interesting beer.
Yeah.
So, pop them if you got them. If whether it's a can or a lemon raspberry popsicle blonde.
This one freaking went everywhere.
THC just got everywhere. Let's talk about this fucking weird game for the Phoenix Suns. by the Suns in a very unusual fashion, a buzzer beater. Second time they've lost to the Portland Trailblazers thus far this year, which brings me to my first question, as always, Matthew.
Matthew, I got to ask.
Matthew, I gotta ask. Fucking SK, man. Like, why'd he leave Raven at the altar?
You know what? They are actually together. It is a crazy situation. If you want to find love and you want to see what love looks like, check out SK and Raven. A great match. Should be
So they
together
ended
for
up getting
forever.
together afterwards?
Almost will make you cry.
Oh, thank God.
Yeah, Instagram post by her right after that. It's like memories basically. So, dude, that was heartbreaking. But yeah, not as heartbreaking as tonight. Maybe a little bit more.
Well, it wasn't heartbreaking because you told me the aftermath. So it's like saying the Suns lost tonight, but end up winning the championship. So who cares about tonight,
True.
right?
Yeah.
And that's the way you got to kind of look at it tonight. So, I just want to give a quick shout out to Tim Tompkins. He's actually live in the chat. He says, first time I'm able to catch the pod live this season, and it comes on an L. So Tim, formerly of the Solar Panel, lives, I know, on the East Coast. So staying up a little bit late to watch this game. And man, did he get a good one. It was it was great because we had Deandre Ayton back in this one. Truthfully, Matthew, when you take a look at Deandre Ayton, I think he was the one consistent bright spot on this team tonight. Overall, he ended with a total of 24 points. He was 10 of 14 from the field, 2 of 2 from beyond the arc. He had 8 rebounds. And if you had told me that Deandre Ayton went for 24 and 8 in this game, I would have said that's a win for the Suns. We're going to win this game, wouldn't you?
Kind of. I was actually thinking, I'm like, every time he does come out, he plays well and actually finishes the game with 20 plus points. I'll look it up after. I just want to know the record because I always feel like it's always maybe a more difficult game to win. It's a closer game, or else they lose the game. I don't know why. The way these games kind of roll with Ayton, I feel like when he starts out hot and doesn't get the ball the rest of the game, like they kind of win, right? Mm-hmm. I don't know. It kind of seems like even though we win almost every fucking game, so it's kind of hard to even tally that up. I just feel like they sometimes play better when he doesn't show up in certain situations. But then tonight, it's like, this season he's been playing great. I just feel like this is a night where it's like, Chris Paul, don't even shoot the ball. Like, give it to Ayton, or just have like someone else from the bench handle the ball and get a good shot because they're the only ones making anything. So Ayton tonight seemed like he should have had 30 plus points, I thought. 9 points right away, 4 for 7 shooting, those threes. The win in pretty easy. So that was nice to see. That's the one positive. You know what? I just think that him and Landale did a really good job switching back and forth. Defensively, I love it when Ayton gets into it. He's getting that shoulder into it, getting the foul. But he's like, fucking, come on, bitch.
Yeah.
Come on. You know what I mean? So that was cool because he's just like, I'm going to get my 6th foul and get kicked out. That's basically what he was trying to do. So I love seeing that kind of Ayton. But him and Book towards the end of the game just kind of really helped it, them get back in the game and tie it. So good game by him, man. It's fantastic to see him out there.
Great to see him back. And, again, going against Jusuf Nurkic has always been a challenge for him. And for the most part, he had the 5 fouls, but for the most part, he really took Nurkic out of the game. The way that he was boxing him out, pushing him off of his spot, not allowing him to play with the physicality that he normally likes to play, he really took Nurk out of the game. In fact, if you look at the first 3 quarters for him, Nurkic ended up, he was 2 of 7 from the field. He had 5 points and 5 rebounds. So, he was really holding his own against him. But obviously that fourth quarter is where Nurkic came alive, was 4 of 6 from the field, had 9 points and 3 rebounds, including a putback that tied the game at the end of 3. It was the Nurkic show in the last minute. And the only reason it is because Deandre Ayton had finally gotten into that foul trouble so he could take advantage of him, and DA couldn't play him as aggressive as he was. So for those who have been waiting for aggressive DA, like, you got it tonight, man. Like you said, he was putting his shoulder into guys. He was aggressive. He was pissed off. He was playing the way that we want, and hitting the midi, hitting it down low, hitting the 3-point shot. He just. We're going to talk about, obviously, how the Suns got kind of screwed in this game, and we kind of let off that way. But you got to look at the positives. This is a game in which the Phoenix Suns needed to rely on him, and rely on him they did. Outside of Devin Booker, who took how many total shots? Get to the top. There it is. 21 shots. DA took 14. That was second most on the team. That's what you want from your big man. That's how you want him to play. Unfortunately, again, because of the foul trouble in that last 3 minutes of the game, it became the Jusuf Nurkic show again.
Yeah, and he always hit like big shots. Even hit that big three towards the end of the game where he's wide open. And if that doesn't go in, I feel like the Suns kind of take the game. But of course, he hits it and they go up by 3. But he was always just finding himself in wide open positions, but he just couldn't finish. And that's the thing against Ayton. I feel like he always just plays really poorly against him. Ayton does really good against the big, wider dudes. You know what I mean? Like really, the guys that can't move at all but are huge. Like Ayton does pretty solid against them.
Well, I know that Nurkic or Yusuf Nurkic is now like 7-1 against DA.
Oh, is he?
In his career, yeah, he's just fucking owned him. And normally he puts up really good statistics. So that was the one thing I was looking at going into this game, was to seeing how DA kind of responds, knowing that he's coming back, after missing 2 games with a sprained left foot. So I didn't expect him to be as productive as he was. When you take a look at DA this season, like, what is his peak this season?
What's it gonna be?
Yeah, what
What's
do you think
gonna
his
be his
peak is?
The thing is, it's hard to even know what it is because I asked the question before: can Mikal Bridges make like the All-Star game after last game? This always happens with these Suns players. You think that they can make the All-Star game after a good game, and you compare like, oh no, Ayton might, maybe that's his peak. It's an All-Star game, but it's so hard because I feel like when he does have good games, like he'll get the fouls and he'll come out. You know what I mean? He just needs those 30-point games, and I think he can have a few of those. His peak numbers wise, I think is 30 and 10 for sure. This season, it's an all-star nod for sure.
I agree. And I think that he's showing early enough to be on that trajectory as well. And I think that that's what's important, because again, this team is, CP3 is less and less effective on this team from an offensive standpoint. You take a look at tonight, he was 1 of 4, had 7 points. Now he had the 11 assists. And that's, again, like, I'm not saying that him being less effective is a negative thing. I think that he unlocks a lot of this offense and he's distributing, which is allowing his teammates to thrive and grow and experience some of the moments that he has experienced throughout his entire career. But with him taking that step back on offense, somebody has to fill that void. And it is DA, and seeing his growth is going to be something we're going to continue to watch throughout this season. And, despite the outcome of this game, one of the bright sides is the fact that DA played as effective as he did.
Yeah, definitely. And I just saw a comment actually from cousin Will. Gave us $5. Sorry, got me a little choked up and
so let's bring it up, So shout out to cousin Will, $4.99 in the super chat. If you're watching along live on YouTube, you can donate in the super chat. We truly appreciate it. It helps us keep doing what we're doing and buys Matthew a Cam Johnson's jersey someday.
And more Del
right?
Taco. Yeah, definitely.
And the question that cousin Will is bringing up is it just me, or is Cam Johnson becoming our Porter Jr., getting a little injury prone? He's hoping that healthy days are ahead for him. But yeah, Cameron Johnson.
Lights, Cameron.
He doesn't get the full drop, okay? Because once
cut him
again, Cameron Johnson leaves this game pretty early on. He played 5 minutes and 14 seconds. He was 0 of 2 from the field. Had an amazing game. It's just like last year, right? He has that amazing game against the Knicks, and then where'd Cameron Johnson go?
Everyone called that too, man.
Yeah, we were talking about in the last pod. It's like, dude, don't let this happen. Is he becoming our Porter Jr., Matthew?
Yeah, it's a Spider-Man meme. That's what it is. It's basically Porter Jr. and Cameron Johnson. But like the excitement of Porter Jr. coming into the NBA is way more than what Cameron Johnson has. Just now you see his potential, and now he's getting hurt. So that's the worst part. He has games like last game where I kind of forget about his injuries, and I kind of forget about like, he might miss a few weeks because of hitting his knee or whatever. I do forget about that stuff. And then people bring it up. I'm like, fuck, you know what? I hope that doesn't happen. And again, it happens tonight. And it kind of just like kills the excitement of the game for me. And I feel like maybe the Suns players too, because when that happens, it's just like, oh, fuck, you feel bad for the dude. I know these guys are like game on.
Of course.
We got to go out there and win. But then me as a fan, like, I'm like, fuck, dude, because I don't want these guys to get hurt. But also it's like Ayton just got back. Then now Cam Johnson's gone. And I don't want them to play a full season, right? Every 82 games like Mikal Bridges. But it's just when a player is playing that dominant and you think maybe they have a chance at an all-star game, of course, because he had a good game. A Suns player had a good game. It's like you want him to continue it, man. You want him to continue it for that reason and put up the big numbers. I'm selfish. I want those big numbers. I want Jay Crowder to sit there like, oh, fuck, like I'm down on the peg scale again. Like, you know what I mean? This whole week he's been kind of losing. And then now he's like, oh, see, there you go. Cameron Johnson, he's hurt. Now you guys need me. So,
yeah, the difference between Cameron Johnson and Michael Porter Jr. is the fact that Michael Porter Jr. is on a 5-year, $179 million contract. Cameron
True,
Johnson
yeah.
isn't, right? Like James Jones didn't extend him at the beginning of the season. Some people threw their hands up like, oh, this is going to be horrible for the Suns. This is horrible for their culture. It sends the wrong message to the team. Ow, my hand. Ow, my back. Ow, my ankle. Ow, my knee. That's Cam Johnson through the first like 4 or 8 games of the season thus far. And, you know, we love Cameron Johnson. I tell you, Cam Johnson plays in this game tonight, like we win. There's no doubt about it. That offensive the way that he can take the offensive pressure off of Devin Booker, off of DeAndre Ayton, spread the floor, it allows the Suns to be more successful because once Cameron Johnson's gone, you know that the Portland Trailblazers defenders, and they have long wing defenders. You know, remember, the guys who are out in this game are their guards. So their long wing defenders are still present in Nasir Little and Jeremy Grant. And, you know, they can sag. They know that they can, you know, double team. And like, I wish there was a stat I could find on how many times Devin Booker's been double teamed this year, because that's what teams are doing. And we saw it in the last game. They throw the doubles at Devin Booker. He dishes out. Cam Johnson goes for like 29 points. He's not out there today because, and did you see the play? Like it was a screen and he like slipped a screen and it looked like he bumped a knee real quick. And then they're like, and he's out. Like, just,
you know
out.
what?
Is it because it's the first night of a back-to-back?
Oh, you know what's worse is like I came in the game like 10 minutes late. Not game minutes. I was like 7-minute mark. I came in. I had to run to the store and I came back, and that's the worst thing is coming back and wondering where Cam Johnson is, and then you hear he's out. It's like, oh, I didn't even get to see what happened. So I didn't even get to see the play. I just heard he bumped knees, and he was totally just gone after that. Did not come back in, obviously.
And it was like
just
quick.
What a
too.
letdown, man!
It was like it was quick. It was like, you know, he set a screen, slip screen, bumped his knee, kind of hobbled a little bit, and they're like, oh, Cam Johnson just went back to locker room. And then like Dwayne Rankin tweeted like within 2 minutes, like, and he's not coming back. I'm like, are you fucking kidding me?
Unless it's just precaution with him.
Well, that's my question. Like, is it precautionary? Is it because the Suns have to play again tomorrow night on, you know, a real quick turnaround against the same team? Are they like, hey, we'll try to go out there and win one without him and throw all the ammunition out tomorrow? Or is it going to be something that's going to be prolonged? I mean, obviously, if anybody who's watching this along live, if you're on Twitter while we're talking and you see anything about that, a quote from Bonnie or anything, you can throw it in the chat. If you're listening to this tomorrow, you probably already know the answer to this. So I like what Mario Lopez says in the chat. He says, Cam can't start at the 4 every game. We need a trade for a true 4. And again, this brings up kind of the Jay Crowder situation. Like, Jay, you dumb fuck. Had you stayed, you would have got plenty of starts and you would have had an opportunity to really showcase your value to other teams, because Cam Johnson's always hurt. And we could have done this kind of nice little power forward substitution.
Nice little foursome.
Nice little foursome at the 4. Meet me at the 3-point line for that foursome. You know, let's bump knees and, you know, go to the locker room. You know what I'm saying? You know, but it's just like, but, you know, he's sitting in a gym somewhere, you know, like making burner accounts and deleting tweets and shit.
Yeah, Cam needs to play like Kawhi almost, where he just doesn't play ever. So that's what we need to do with Cam, is just don't have him play. And if you're actually counting and seeing where Jay versus Suns is right now, I think Jay is down a peg just because Cam has played so well after 29th game or 29-point game. And then after getting hurt again, like Jay's back up a little bit. But it's just like, it's going to keep going back and forth between Jay and the Suns. What's happening on the court? Like, it just can't be left alone. We thought we were done with it because of the last game, but then now it's like when things like this happen, then we're going to keep talking about Jay. Like, I wish it was just over with.
Yeah.
He's tweeting like, oh, it's almost done. It's like, when the fuck is it done? Is it not going? Are we not getting KD or what's going on? I don't know what's going on, dude, but he needs to leave. He needs to be out of here soon, right?
You would think so. But again, you know, the Suns have more leverage in this situation than they do like Eric Bledsoe, right? And the leverage is they're good. Right, when the Eric Bledsoe situation was going on, the Suns were bad, and they were just like, listen, we need to flip the culture. We need to get him out of here. He doesn't want to be here, because that's what I equate this situation to a lot, is somebody who doesn't want to be here, thinks that the organization isn't working in their best benefit. And I think that in this situation, you know, even though the Suns are now 6-2 with both those losses coming at the hands of the Portland Trailblazers, like this is a really good team. The Cowboys lost to the Trailblazers? My God, that's terrifying. Damn, dude. Yusuf Nurkic is a beast, man. D'ing up Jason Witten coming over the middle there. But again, I think that there's a lot. The Suns hold a lot more leverage in this situation. So this is going to be something that's drawn out. Listen to the Bill Simmons podcast as they were ejaculating all over the Cleveland Cavaliers in their latest one.
I love that, though.
I do
love
too.
it.
I'm a fan of the Cavs. I
It's
like
so
watching
early,
them.
but it just makes me feel like, yes, we can get excited because when I don't hear that happening where someone's predicting a championship already for a team, then I'm
Yeah.
just like, oh, we don't care about the regular season. But now when like you hear Bill Simmons, like, yeah, I have them, man, like he did with the Suns last year.
Yeah.
It's like, okay, great. Like, let's focus on the Cavs. Let's build them up. But also, let's just, they look like a championship caliber team right now. And I'm
Yeah,
just
for one
glad
game
'cause
because
it's
they beat
early.
his Celtics. Like he's like, oh my god, and they
They
beat him like
looked,
overtime. Like
yeah,
I watched the game.
they're
That was
so
a good.
complete though.
They are.
And
And you
Papa
know what they're
Ricky's not
missing?
even playing.
And you know what they're missing? A Jay Crowder. That's like exactly the piece that they're
Yeah.
missing.
Who would he get back though?
They were talking about maybe Isaac Okoro, who they just
Oh,
extended,
okay.
but and like that would be acceptable. But like that's the one situation I think that Jay Crowder would end up in. But it's like, why would you end up in that situation when you're already in that situation in Phoenix? I just don't get it.
They don't
And
need
that
Jay.
because no one gets it, it's just going to continue to drag on and drag on and drag on. Ted Lubin is asking in the chat, Lissy, who did the Always Sunny in Phoenix artwork behind you? Is that at Suns Illustrated on Twitter?
At Suns Illustrated on Twitter.
Shout out to
all that stuff. He, she, I don't know what it is, but they throwing stuff out there. It looks great.
Yeah, so definitely give them a follow on Twitter. Let them know the Suns Jam Session sent you too. That makes that fortifies our greatness.
They're like, yeah, sure,
or
you
lack
can use it.
thereof.
They probably don't remember agreeing to let me use their artwork, but
And he's like, hey, I
am.
no idea on that one. So taking a look again at this game, analyzing some of the different kind of peaks and valleys, if you will. Let's talk a little bit about, let's see. You know what? This could be a curveball.
Here comes the pain.
Not having Cameron Payne tonight was painful, Matthew. Found out that he wasn't going to be playing. Left foot soreness, I believe, is what it ended up being. But you could really see how good he's been this season, because without him, the second team unit was fucking lost, dude. They were lost. No shot creation, bunch of ISO ball, bunch of drive and kick, and shit, what do we do? Late shot clock, brick. I mean, they had so many, and that's how the Portland Trailblazers pushed that lead in the second quarter. They're playing, a lot of the backups were out there. Damian Lee was a -11, and the Landry Shamet was a -8. The Phoenix Suns as a whole shot 28.6% from the field. Deandre Ayton was 4 of 5. So the rest of the team was 2 of 17 from the field. Meanwhile, the Blazers are shooting 65% from the field. That second team unit looked lost without campaign, man.
Yeah, it was kind of funny with the Kogi in there a little bit because he just didn't last long, right? The
No,
Kogi,
not at all.
the Lee, and then I think he came right back out, and then Paul replaced him. But just that lineup was terrible. But I mean, if you want to talk about third quarter and fourth quarter, I think the bench was pretty good, but it had to do more just fighting for things. I feel like the way Shamet and Jock were playing tonight towards the end and in the third quarter, I know Shamet missed a lot of threes, but they were just playing tough basketball. It wasn't a whole lot of, run the offense, but it was just like fighting for balls and just passing the ball around, hitting the cutter, things that were just like off ball plays. And they did a good job with that. I thought they held up their own. I thought we needed them in the third quarter, but when you're actually having someone run the second unit, yeah, you do miss Payne, but they just had to plug and play all night. And that's what's so frustrating, because you come off these awesome games where like Cameron Johnson and Mikal Bridges are just tremendous together, and the whole rest of the team plays good. And then you have to someone's out, then you have to plug and play, and then Sarge is coming in, just all these bogus names off the bench. You know what I mean? They're not bogus. I'm kidding. But they come in and just kind of screws things up. Like they don't know how to play with each other because they were in such a rhythm before this game.
Yes.
I feel like, and then it's just kind of ruined by the injuries, and then also just Cam being out. And I didn't even know he was out because I don't really look at the injury report till he was in a jacket. I was like, what is he doing? He's out. When did that happen, dude?
Yeah, well, I mean, again, I've been covering this game for Brightside, so I was sitting there, I was putting together the injury report. I was like, good Lord, man, a bunch of little stuff, bunch of little nagging stuff. And again, I think it's preemptive. The Phoenix Suns look at this as, okay, we got 2 games back against the same team. We go 1-1, we're happy, and then we kind of carry on. This is the back end of a homestand. They got a 3-game road trip ahead that includes Philadelphia, 2 other places. I don't remember offhand.
Yeah, it's going to be a tougher little road trip, but it'd be fun.
Yeah, it's going to be, that East Coast. I think Toronto, maybe. I don't know. But at the same time, I think they were just like, you know what? We're just going to kind of, take a night off. And again, it's like if Monty Williams is sitting there, and if these injuries are just truly little nagging things these guys could have played, Monty Williams got to sit there and be like, "Fuck, man! Like we could have won this game if either one of these guys could. If Cam Payne had played,
Yeah.
we could have won this game. Because Cam Johnson gets injured, you get a ton of Torrey Craig minutes in this game. He played, 8 points, 6 rebounds, 23 points. A decent game by Torrey, but again, like something that's just the bench unit looked cooked in this one, and it was kind of shocking to see. And of course, fucking Dario Saric, man.
The Saric smoke break.
We're the one podcast who's sitting there and we're like, dude, Dario, where's Dario? Dario gets in there 9 minutes, 0 for 3 from beyond the arc, 2 total rebounds, and 1 ass on the ball.
You almost summed it up perfectly, dude. So I had the whole Christmas song down, and I wish he missed more layups because it would have went 3 missed layups, 2 brick threes, and a seat on the ball. That was terrible. And one
that's
yeah, exactly. But he sat on the ball, and
yes,
it's exciting, man. But that's the one guy that came in.
He looked like an ostrich laying an egg.
Yeah, it's funny because like he has like that brick 3 off the side of the rim or on the side of the backboard, totally brick set.
Oh yeah, I forgot about that.
Mars, it bounced and went to Mars,
Jesus
and then
Christ.
After that, like he kind of like he's in the lane and Bismack's in front of him, and he kind of just like clears a path, and then it's like here, and just hands on the ball.
Yeah,
it's okay, I guess this works, and he just makes a little hook. It's like he plays a different kind of basketball, man. When he gets on the court, it's nothing that we've ever seen before in our lifetime. So cheers, Dario. If we got the minute, we would have got the win. We would have been excited, man.
To Dario. I will say this: Oso lemon raspberry popsicle blonde, very interesting. Actually, tastes kind of good. I mean, it
sounds delicious.
It is pretty interesting,
right?
Shout out to Oso, great brewery, man. I still can't believe you've never heard of Oso Brewery. Hurts my feelings.
I'm sure I've seen it. When you bring your dogs.
There's one in like downtown Chandler-ish. Arcadia, there's one. There's one up on Shea and Tatum. They're really
I've
nice
probably seen that one close to my work or something.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, why not? We're not going an hour tonight, by the way. There's no way I'm going an hour and then having to talk about the Blazers again tomorrow.
The warden.
I'm sure. We always say that shit.
We always say that, then it's like childhood trauma for 15 minutes. Disappointed in the Warden tonight, man. Not going to lie. There was a lot of opportunity for him in this game, especially with Cameron Johnson going out. Cameron Johnson and Mikal Bridges, this is their season to grow and to step up in these moments when we know that Devin Booker is the primary target of the defense. Like when you're playing in a long season like this, you don't have a bunch of time prior to games to truly come up with a very effective game plan like it is in a 7-game series, right? Where you truly analyze the strengths and weaknesses of a team and you try to target those and take them out of their game. The one thing that teams are doing this season is going, Devin Booker's good. So we're not letting them, I'm not letting Devin Booker impose his will on us. That's the one thing we're not going to let happen, right? And so what happens in that situation when the defenses are doing that is the players like Cameron Johnson and like Mikal Bridges are going to have opportunity. In this game where Cameron Johnson only plays 5 minutes and Mikal ends up playing 37, there's nothing but opportunity. He was 4 of 9 from the field. He was 2 of 3 from beyond the arc, had 5 rebounds and 12 points, and I want more from him. He had, 2 steals as well. He had the 1 turnover, which is obviously the turnover. Like Devin Booker's getting doubled. And we talk about it. It's like, dude, this is a great opportunity, man. Devin Booker's going to get doubled. All these guys are going to have an opportunity to kind of step into different opportunities and feel things that they haven't done before. And that's happened twice against the Blazers. Like the 2 really close games, it was okay. One Damian Lee on the game winner at the beginning of the season, but it was like DA missing free throws, and then Mikal Bridges would be like, oh fuck, and just traveling.
Yeah. I want more, Daddy. We should have that drop from Willy Wonka. I want more, Daddy. I want it now.
I want it now.
I don't know if she says I want more, Daddy. Okay. Bridges, he almost came in the third quarter. Looked like he was about to wrap things up.
Yeah, he came out aggressive.
He did. He really aggressive. Even like after making 2 shots in a row, he grabbed the rebound the next time down. And he's just like, all right, I'm gonna take this over because I do have the opportunity. Then it was just like a whole lot of hesitation. I feel like when you're coming off such great games, I don't know why you hesitate in any shot. And I know Book's being doubled too, but I feel like there's so many times where it's just like, step into your shot. Like he's just thinking too much. These guys think too much still, and they shouldn't be. They should just be playing their offense like they normally do. These guys should be confident what they're putting up there, because they're gonna get a lot of options when Book's not having a game. Like tonight, terrible game really shooting wise. So everyone needs to know, like, you got to step up. So you find the hot hand. Mikal was there in the third quarter, but then it was like everybody else too kind of stood up in a way too. So I was like really surprised that it didn't keep going back to like Mikal. Well, Mikal kind of fell off, but like even like Jock when he came in, Shamit was kind of hot in a way where he was finding guys. He was actually kind of setting up the offense a little bit better.
Yeah.
But then like you go back to like Chris Paul, who like came in and it seemed like everything he was shooting was like not going in, but he was still taking the shots that away from other guys that were kind of hot. So that kind of ruined everything. But that's the moment where I'm like, that has to be Mikal, because Mikal can do that. We've seen it, and he has to come in. He has to step up for Book, and then also Ayton too. But Ayton did a good job all night. It's just Mikal has to be that other guy on the outside to help Ayton out, and he just wasn't. This was his opportunity to really close this game out.
Yep.
It was his game to take, and he just didn't do it.
Yeah, I mean, he should have 20 tonight, in my opinion. I really thought that he had an opportunity, like I said, and I'm echoing your thoughts exactly. This is his chance to step up and to dictate what his offense. And there was some passiveness around the end, and again, like that deer in the light moment was the one thing where it was just like, damn it, Kale, we needed you on that one.
Yeah, exactly.
Alex Kroll just said that Dwayne Rankin just reported that Cam left the arena with crutches.
All right, I'm done this season.
Oh, man, shit.
Like, can we just say, like, fuck it? Two reasons. I love Cam. I really want him to be our starting four. But if there was ever a chance, and I don't care what you guys say, to get Kevin Durant, if we had to trade Cameron Johnson,
she gone.
Like, that's out the window.
Well,
then I know
that's the other side.
Katie's
of the Cam,
fine now.
That's the other side of the Cam Johnson jersey. Like, they announced he was out so quick. It's like, was it something actually that serious?
Yeah, we were trying to play it off like, oh, he'll be fine, because we just know in the back of our head.
Yeah. It's like, torn MCL, ACL, PCL.
Mom forgot to get Doritos again from the store. So just disappointed.
Who's the starting four now? Torrey Craig?
I don't even want to talk about it. I didn't want this. I wanted this to be Cam's year, and I was downplaying it. I said he didn't deserve his contract yet, but now
Dave King, what do you think?
Fuck.
Yeah, me
He's
too.
In the corner again.
Me too. Me too. Oh man. Yeah, I mean, if he's leaving on crutches, that's obviously that's going to be a challenge for the Phoenix Suns, because the depth. Now, don't get me wrong. Like we've talked about it, the surprising thing of the Phoenix Suns thus far this season has been the depth of their second team unit. The way that they've played up to this point has been above expectations, absolutely stellar. You take a look at how they've performed relative to the rest of the NBA, right? From a points perspective, they're averaging 37 points per game. That's the bench of the Phoenix Suns, including this game. And that's 11th in the league. You look at their field goal percentage. Their field goal percentage thus far is 44%, and that's 20th in the league. You look at their three-point percentage, and that is 20th in the league as well, as they're 33%. But from a plus-minus standpoint, they are 10th in the league. So the bench unit has been playing well. But now what you're doing is you're messing up the chemistry of that, because, we're going to need him. I mean, if Cam's on crutches, shit, man. Does Jay come back?
No.
Fuck.
Okay, so
we're in a circular conversation. We're right back here.
Yeah, I know, but we've loved all our players that have come and gone for like the last 3 years. We really have. But if Jay comes back, that's a booing. That's booing him every time he touches the ball, I think, because
that's booing him every time he bricks the ball.
Because he deserves a contract now based on the last 2 seasons. He deserves it right now. But if he were to come back, he's not going to be paid at all. But then Suns lose all leverage in different ways now. It's just like, we're like one shitty trade from like Jay Crowder getting traded for nothing to where it's like, all right, here we are. Cameron Johnson's hurt. We're not finals contenders right now. Like, it looks good right now, but compared to what we're going to see in the playoffs, this team is not is not seriously not built
No.
right now, especially with Cameron Johnson gone.
Yeah, no, they're not there yet. And again, we got a long way to go. Felix Abdul Nader will save Monty. Here comes.
Oh,
Oh man,
he's in the
jeez.
new Clerks 3, isn't he?
Yeah,
Abdul Nader.
yeah, probably. Deandre Ayton. That was the longest second I have ever guarded on the final play of the game. That's what he
Yeah.
said. Oh,
There's always these games that's just like we kind of avoided it last year, but someone gets hurt, we lose in such a weird way. It's just don't want to
it's just
wake up
frustrating.
tomorrow.
So we lose on a shitty buzzer beater, on a four-step buzzer beater on a second that lasted like 3 seconds, and we lose Cam Johnson. How was your night, guys? Carlos
Man.
Johnson, shout out to Carlos Johnson, $4.99 in the super chat. Thank you again as well for supporting the show. Refs were consistent with screwing us all game and ended with a cherry on top. We lost Cam, however, we fought back. We made mistakes, but refs win. You take a look at it, total number of free throw attempts in this game for the Phoenix Suns was 21. Total number of free throw attempts for the Portland Trailblazers was 15. Look at total turnovers. They had more turnovers than us. We had 17 turnovers, which led to 18 points. They had 18 turnovers, which led to 22 Phoenix Suns points. The only major statistic that they really kicked our ass in, even rebounding, like we were only 3 behind them in rebounding, was points in the paint. Was 52-40 in favor of the Blazers. It's a pretty even game. Like second chance points, Suns beat them 16-13. Fast break points, tied at 12. So, I mean, again, it's just like, the Suns beat themselves in the fact that the bench unit couldn't perform. And yeah, there was some bullshit at the end. Like, that's what we'll remember. And obviously, that's what I titled the Bright Side article. But man, damn.
I keep feeling like our bench kind of came in and helped us because like
they did in the second half.
Struggling so much.
The
first half was terrible.
First half was terrible. Second half, they really played well and got us. They kept us in the game. It was one of those games where it's just like they couldn't get past 6 points forever. It's like 6 points, then it was 12, then it was 6 points, then it was 9, then it was 6 points, then it was 12, and then it was 3 points. Like for the entire that was the third quarter. The fourth quarter was like they get it within 4, they get it within 3, and it was like. And then it was 5 and 3, then 6, and 3, and then there was like 7 possessions where we were down by 3, we just couldn't execute. And then finally on a Damian Lee 3, we tied it at 99. And then obviously, the Portland Trailblazers go on like a 9-7 run to end the game. Just kind of a rough one.
It was rough, and I think that the whole thing with Cameron Johnson too. Kiko does say don't hit the panic button just yet. It's too early.
This is true.
I'm not,
This is true.
but you know what? The way this team is built right now, they're good. They're really good. They're title contenders, but enough, I don't know. They just needed to make a big trade, and that's why this whole thing.
We
I know
are
we love
missing
the
something.
Twins.
We
love the
missing something.
Twins, but if we were to get better in some trade for the season for just one championship, it's worth it. And like that kind of just went down the toilet with. I love Cam, I do, but I'm not saying he's going to get traded. But he was probably involved in some trade talks for sure this season.
Oh yeah, he was definitely an asset that other teams valued. But if he's crutching out of the arena.
The Suns Jam Session Subreddit Stakeout.
So there I was hanging out on the Portland Trailblazers subreddit stakeout. Man, if Ayton is hitting jumpers, this is going to be a bad night, is what somebody said. They were right. It was a bad night for us. Just ignore Okogie on offense. He is so useless on the offensive end of the floor. I watch way too many Wolves games cursing at the TV at his complete lack of offensive ability.
We saw that, man.
Josh Okogie in this game played a total of 5 minutes. He was 0 for 0 for the field, had 0 points, had 1 rebound, 1 steal, and 1 turnover. Triple one for Josh Okogie in this game.
Yeah, he seemed like the Raider that kind of kept missing and bringing the ranch. Just like, oh, you keep forgetting the ranch, dude. That's the way he looked like there tonight. So for just a little
100%. What else did they say? They said, LOL at the Suns fans, thinking that them not getting blown out by a depleted Blazer team indicates how good they are. Like, sure, it's not a blowout, but you shouldn't be down 10 to a severely injured team. Come on, man. We didn't have campaign. Fuck off.
Or
And the Suns broadcast is easier to digest when we're up by 10. It's like, why are you watching the Suns broadcast, dude?
because they're awesome. EJ's awesome, man. He makes you pay attention to the game.
And that's all I really have. Like I could look at it right now, but I don't want to. I was writing the article too. It's kind of hard to bounce between the two, but that's all I have for the subreddit stakeout. Anything you noticed on the subreddit?
Nope.
The Suns Jam Session subreddit stakeout.
Shout out to Carlos Johnson in the chat again. $4.99. You're putting my kids through college. How did everyone see Nurkic? Hope I spelled that right. Toss the ball out of bounds, except the people that are paid to see it. Fixed. Yeah, I mean that was one where the Suns had a challenge out in the last minute. Where
Yeah.
Chris Paul. I mean, it was just Eddie Johnson said it really well at the end of the game. He goes, sometimes the refs just kind of get caught in the game and they're not doing their jobs. Because that's what happened on the Jeremy Grant play. That's what happened on that Nurkic play that Carlos Johnson's referencing, right? Like, unbelievable. Like, they just...
Yeah, it kept happening all night. And it was consistent where these refs were not... They seemed like they were looking at their shoelaces the whole time. They weren't really actually watching where the ball was going or who was tipped off of. And a lot of the fouls, too. And, it came down in the game where the Suns would kind of make a run. And they seemed like they couldn't get a lot of stops and they couldn't get back into it. And it seemed kind of like the playoffs last year, where it's just like every time down, the Blazers are going to score. And then all of a sudden, it's just like now you have to worry about the refs. You have to worry about a foul being called or else the ball goes off of Ayton again. It's like that kept happening. It's like, dude, I know this is this team is short on staff. Again, the Blazers are short staffed tonight.
Yep.
But you know what? This was a tough game for the Suns to try to win. And they just needed everything they could from the refs. And the refs weren't giving it to him, dude. It wasn't even split down the middle.
Fuck.
Jam star of the game.
Just a reminder, Jamsters, if you're watching along live, hit that thumbs up button. If you're watching at a later time, hit that thumbs up button. If you're listening, give somebody a thumbs up. If you're listening and you're mowing your lawn, take a break. Go get some water. Okay,
You just talk to yourself when you do that one. That's you.
What? Listening to podcasts while mowing the lawn?
Yeah,
It's like my favorite
that's who you're
pastime.
talking to.
Yeah, that's what I do on Saturdays. Like tomorrow, I work tomorrow, but if I didn't work tomorrow, I would be mowing the grass and I would be listening to podcasts. I'm praying that somebody would be talking to me and be like, "Hey, man, take a water break. Like, go outside, get a Gatorade, man. Like, cool down.
Yeah,
Even though it's like
yeah.
60 degrees outside in Phoenix right now, it's really effing weird. Take a break, man.
Oh,
Take a moment for you, and let us know who your jam star of the game is, Matthew. You go first, right?
You know what? I was going to say the bench, and I was actually going to give it to Sarge. Or not Sarge.
Whoa.
Sham it in a way. I know he's 1 for 5. He made some big plays in the fourth. I was like, oh, dude, if he keeps trending this way, he's going to get jam star. I'm going to give it to Ayton, though.
2 of 8, though.
I know, but just...
Oh, in the fourth. Gotcha.
He looked really good, though. I feel like his drive, he has a quick step and he always blows by the defender, but he passes it out. If he's aggressive at the rim and he basically jammed his thumb on that one dunk and just totally bricked it, but he's so aggressive going to the rim. Like, if we see more of that, that'd be cool because he has a pretty quick step offensively. But I'll give it to Ayton, though, for sure tonight. It was a great effort by him. Defensively, offensively, wherever you want to.
Yeah, I loved
great.
DA in this one. Loved DA. Low Suns gives it to DA. David Ray gives it to Ayton and Booker. DA from Rajon T. Monroe. Jam stars the refs for Portland from Kiko. Fourth quarter, Damian Lee is my jam star from Mario Lopez.
Yeah.
Us fans are the jam stars tonight. Sticking around after heartbreaking losses. You guys are one, I got to say, I don't like to toot my own horn, but the fact that we're sitting here talking and we've talked for 45 minutes about this shit, we are the jam stars. And the people who are watching along live or listening to this, you guys are jam stars too, because these are the tough ones, right? I mean, this is a regular season. We're 6-2, right? We are 10% of the way through the regular season. 10%. We got 90% of the regular season way to go. These are the tough ones. These are the ones we look back. And the one thing we're going to remember from this game, we'll vaguely remember, remember when fucking Jeremy Grant? Because, I mean, when did we play Portland again?
Look like Brandon Ingram out there? Yeah,
I know, right? Yeah, and 30 points on us tonight. But if you take a look at it, obviously we're going to play the Portland Trailblazers tomorrow, right? But
Mhm.
outside of that, like the next time that we're going to see this team, if we see them again, I don't know, because this is the third time already in like
Third
16
time.
days.
That's it.
The
Oh
next
no,
time,
same. Yeah, go ahead.
yeah, that's it. This is it. This is the
Is
last
that it?
time we're seeing Portland. Last time we'll see them.
Thank God.
Yeah, we won't remember Landon Alverson. I finally got a jam star. That's fantastic.
Very cool.
But like, this is the journey of the season. We're gonna remember this game more for what happened to Cam Johnson, essentially. Whatever the news finally comes out. Again, shout out to Dwayne
Yeah.
Rankin for letting everybody know that he did leave in crutches. But whatever happens, it's just like, just
Whatever happens with Cameron Johnson.
yeah, just moving forward.
Mhm.
Like I hope it's okay. I hope it's okay.
Yeah, well, it's not. So not right now. Not looking good, but we could still win, dude. Okay, so if Cam's missing a lot, we could still win games. I just want him to get in prime shape for the playoffs, dude. Like, I want that Cameron Johnson. We need that.
100%. But I mean, like, man, I wanted him to have a nice, good season too. Like,
I know. I know. I can't believe. I think the Suns players really did know, like, oh, that shit, that's bad. And you could tell Mikhail's face, like, he was just so down. That's his twin. Twins feel when the other
maybe
twin's
that's why
hurting,
he was
man.
off. Maybe that's why he was a little off.
I think
at
it
that point.
was. I think it was, man.
So I mean, Monty Williams said 4 is not enough, referencing I'm sorry, Chris Paul's number of shot attempts in this game. 4 shots is just not enough. So yeah, we'll see. Suns obviously play this team tomorrow. Who wins, Matthew?
I think Suns. Even if it's a full staffed Blazers team, I think for sure the Suns can win.
I hope they can.
They were so off tonight. It just seemed off, but then the points were still there for Ayton and Booker. What are we doing here? This is a weird ending to our pod.
Childhood trauma.
Fuck it. Let's just do some childhood trauma. Let's do some adult trauma. Tonight's some adult trauma. What do you want to talk about? Childhood trauma.
Oh,
What should our topic be on this one?
are we doing adult trauma or if we're doing
No,
child?
It's not adult trauma. It's childhood trauma.
All right. Well, we need I don't know. We need something in the chat to go off of.
Yeah, I did put childhood trauma. Who's got some topics in the chat? I don't know where to begin. Let's see. It's November. Is there anything about November?
Worst
Worst what?
childhood defeat.
Worst childhood defeat. All right. So Shauna Liz in the chat. Worst childhood defeat. Ooh. Did you play a lot of sports growing up, Matthew?
I did. Yeah. And we lost all the time. Every
Yeah.
team I was ever on, we won one game. Always. No matter what.
Always just bad.
Yeah.
Worst childhood defeat.
I remember, I'll tell you guys, did I tell you guys about my first, my concussion and stuff when I did play basketball? And of course we lost.
Yeah,
that
I
game.
think you did.
Did I say that one? Damn it. How embarrassing.
Yeah, I know. I'm trying to think. I'm trying to think of like a defeat from a sports standpoint or defeat in like sports standpoint. Like crying my eyes out as a kid. Like that happened a bunch. I mean, the Suns, they did that to me all the time as a kid. Those Rockets series in the mid 90s were tough.
Mm-hmm.
I primarily played baseball growing up. I played a little bit. I think I played one season of organized basketball, and I wasn't any good. Here's a fun one. This was kind of defeating. So I played shortstop, quick hands. And one year, our team was really, really good. And right at the end of the season, my parents decided to move. So we moved from Moore Park, California to Simi Valley, California. And I played in Moore Park Little League. And in the process of moving, I remember being really upset because I wasn't named to the All-Star team. I was really upset about it because I thought I had a really good season. I was, really good defense, really good offense. Wasn't cranking home runs, but I was like the leadoff guy. I could bunt. I would steal all the time. I was really, really fast, and I used to like toy with pitchers because it was like the first year you could steal. And one time at the time we're bouncing between two houses because we're moving. And one time we go back to our old house, and it's like one of the last times. And I hear my mom. She's like playing the messages on the phone, and I hear it's like, boop. Hello, Mr. and Mrs. Voida. This is Coach, whatever the coach's name is. Like, I just wanted to congratulate John on being named to the All-Star game. The game's going to be played on Saturday at Chaparral Park. And it was like 3 days after that Saturday. And I was so upset because I'd been named an All-Star. But we hadn't checked the messages. And it was the only time I was ever named an All-Star. I was never named an All-Star anywhere else. So I was
like
so
in your whole
pissed.
life?
In my
The
whole
first
life.
time you were named an All-Star.
First and only All-Star. And like it was like Tuesday afternoon or something. And I was just like, oh, so I could have, like, no one knew where I was at. I was just like off the grid, because we had moved. So that was a pretty defeating moment.
Dude, I don't think I have one for defeat.
Tell me about the one time you won as a child.
I don't remember. I always remember it's always just
won.
such the crappiest team. And like we would just barely win, but we used to get blown out like 42-4 like every game. No matter what team I was on, dude. It was terrible.
And no matter what sport.
Yeah, I mean, I remember like my coach being really upset because I would miss layups, easy layups. I was probably the best player, but I was still not that good. But like everyone sucked on my team, dude. So it was always bad. For another traumatic experience, dude, I don't freaking know. I could say one that's really sad, but I'm not going to. So I'll just hold. I'll hold off.
It's a sad kind of night, man. Go for it. Why not? Get sad with it.
No.
Let's be sad. We lost on a travel and a fucking 7-second, 1-second shot. So fuck it.
No, it's not even that.
Sad.
It's weird. I don't even want to say it. It's not even really about me. It's just my observation of something that happened. It's weird. It affected me like till this day.
Wow, you just got your THC drinks.
It does.
Big build up, man. Like you gotta kind of spill the beans now.
All right, so
you shit your pants.
No. Oh, you know what? I did tell you that one where I'll tell you guys that one. So when I was in 3rd grade, and I think I said this one, I was in the bathroom, and taking a poop at school wasn't a big deal at all. I was in there, and there was like this bully that was maybe like 2 years ahead of me. And I remember I was going to the bathroom, maybe it was in 2nd grade, and I was going poop. And the kid came in like as soon as I started, and he just started yelling and banging things around. He started yelling at me. He's like get out of there. Hey, get out of there. So then of course I just left. I didn't do any cleanup or anything. So I just left.
No.
And like
crusty butthole.
Traumatized to do that because of that. And I just remember before that I didn't even think about it. Didn't think twice about it. Then after that, it was always such a big issue. But he told me to get out of there. And then he looked in there and he's like, ew. I'm like, what do you expect to see, dude? And then like I went back to class and I didn't clean up. So who knows what happened the rest of the day? Because I was so young.
Yeah.
I don't know the rest. I probably just had a dirty diaper the whole time. The whole rest.
Wow, that's embarrassing. Never happened to me. So you're in there trying to take a deucer and somebody's just like, get out of there.
Yeah.
Like banging on shit. That sucks.
Yep.
And that guy's name was Dario Saric. There you go.
He was taking him and the high school girls were in there smoking.
I do remember one time in like middle school, I was going to the bathroom and I was dropping a deucer and like I started to smell cigarette smoke. And I remember it was the first time I was just like, oh, what the hell's going on in here? And yeah, there's a bunch of kids in there. And then like I remember coming out, they're like, you tell anyone, I'm gonna hurt you. Because they were like 8th grade, I was in like 6th grade. I was just like, okay, man, like I'm not gonna tell anyone. Like you guys are idiots. Anyway, so there you go. Childhood trauma brought to you by our sadness.
Childhood trauma.
That's all I got for this one, Matthew.
There's just no comments.
Yeah, everyone's
comments
left.
are dead. Yeah,
everyone's left. So see, Kiko's like almost an hour of a pod. Yep, but I'm not going the full hour. On that note, ladies and gentlemen, thank you for joining us. You are a jam star. If you've listened or watched it up to this point, leave a like, leave a comment, subscribe, rate, and review. If you're on Apple Podcasts, leave a review. Talk about this game. Talk about your childhood trauma. We love you. We love you for doing so. We'll be coming to you again live tomorrow. Maybe we'll have a guest on or something, so it's a little bit more lively. I don't know. We'll figure something out.
Yeah,
we'll figure something out. If you want to be a guest on the show, you hit us up on Twitter at Suns Jam. You can follow me at Darth Void. You can follow Matthew.
At Matthew.
We'll see you tomorrow. Fuck the refs.
Yeah, go home and love your Lissy.